So I forgot to state the domain and range on questions 18, on those three graphing questions of radical inequalities. So if we take a look, we identify first h and k, and then we ignore h and k. We make a xy table for whatever's left, ignoring h and k. And we think, okay, what could we plug in for x? 0, because the square root of 0 is 0, but with the negative in front, it's still 0. The square root of 1 is 1, but with the negative in front, it's negative 1. The square root of 4 is 2, but negative 2. Square root of 9 is 3, but with the negative in front, it's negative 3. So you have these coordinates, you graph them, you got those red dots right there. And in addition to that, you need to state, you need a shift according to h and k. So h happens to be 3 to the right, so you take the red dot, move it 3 to the right, move 3 to the right, 3 to the right, and 3 to the right, so on and so on. You end up with that final blue graph right there. So what we need to do now is state the domain and range. State the domain and range. So that coordinate, the hk coordinate, we know is 3, 0. 3 on the x, 0 on the y. And, whoops, well I guess I messed up on covering up domain and range. So my point is, when it comes to domain, you're going to state your x values. And you're going to say x is what? Now, when you look at your x, which is 3, that's the beginning of the graph. And is it going to the left or to the right? It's going to the right. Bless you. So it's going to the right. So you're going to say that x is greater than or equal to 3. Now, when you talk about the y values, that would be your range. So your range is going to be y, and the y value of your hk was 3, 0. So the y value is 0, bless you again. Y value is 0, and here's the y value of 0. Is this graph above 0 or below 0? It's below 0, so you're going to say y is less than or equal to 0. And that is an essential part of these questions, stating the domain and range in addition to graphing your radical function. So let me just go through and explain one more time. When you look at this equation, your hk is -1, -3. You think opposite on h, you take k for what it is. Once again, your h value is always with x, but you got to think opposite on h. So your hk coordinate is -1, -3, and once you graph that, you'll know that it's at -1, -3, and it starts right there. So your hk value is -1, -3, and that's important for domain and range. With regards to left and right, from this beginning point, do you go left or do you go to the right? You're going to the right, which means it's greater than. It's greater than your x value. So what is your x value? Your x value is -1. So you're going to say that your domain is x is greater than or equal to -1. At this beginning point, -1, -3, with regards to your y, is it going up or is it going down? It's going down, which means that it's less than. Less than what value? Less than the y value of your beginning point. So you would say y is less than or equal to -3. That's your range. And the last one, your hk value, as you can see, there is no h, so that's going to be 0. The k value is -3. So yeah, the beginning point is 0, -3, the hk value. Now from that beginning point, do you go to the left, which is less, or do you go to the right, which is greater? You're going to the right. So with regards to x, it's going to say x is greater than or equal to greater than or equal to 0, and that's your domain. Your range values are your y values going up and down. Up is positive, down is negative. So from your beginning point, do you go up or do you go down? You go up. So it's greater than, right? Greater than a certain value, greater than the value of -3. So the range is y is greater than or equal to -3.